Guys, it's time once again for some epic battles of RTA. Today we're going to see three things. Number one, we're going to see some matches from one of my new favorite players. I want to call him Birdman. I don't know what his actual name is, but he's got a bird as his profile picture. We saw he was the one picking Orochi, he was the one picking Louise, he's picking equally ridiculous different stuff. He's just uses so many units that no one else uses, and I absolutely love his matches. So we're going to take a look at what he's doing this week. Spoiler, one of them is 2A Fire Martial Cat, and he's actually winning with it as well. If you guys don't know what this is a Fire HP based bruiser. She's got a crit buff, she's got a counterattack, she's got a stun on the first skill, she's got a destroy HP on the third skill. We're also going to take a look at someone that's in Guardian level using a super budget comp. I know we see some budget cleave comps every so often. This one is using a super budget comp with like Fran and Lauren and Triana and Vertiheel, and it's things we would see a little bit more a few seasons ago, but he's using it just fine. Super high, pretty high level. I mean, Guardian is pretty high. It's not super like G3, whatever. And then we're also gonna ice the content cake with some other different matches that I think are interesting, because I saw some different matches that I bookmarked. I saw some other matches that I bookmarked to share with you guys, so let's get it started. So here's the super budget comp I was telling. It's a joke, it's not the super budget comp. So this is the guy that I was talking about. He's actually G3. I misspoke. I said G1. That's incorrect. He's actually G3. He's picking some of these units. I mean, you look at this draft, you're like, that's a G3 that's a G3 draft. Sometimes he uses like a Ciara or a Vanessa, I mean, he a lot of times just uses a lot of budget units. So this is, I mean, if we think about G3, we think about like, oh, well, I'll never be able to get that because it requires this unit and this unit. You need to be stacked with LD5s and all this crazy stuff. And you got to make sure you got the Gani, Oki, Shungpung, Moore, all these different things. Like, this guy's doing it with things like, I mean, he has a Ciara too, he has Vanessa too, he has a few other, he has other units. It's just a lot of times you see him picking a lot of these budget units that you really don't think of too much as G3 units this season. Like, not too many people using Lauren. Fran has kind of become less popular because Lulu is very annoying. But this guy actually getting G3, holding G3 with a lot of budget picks. So this one he picked 4 Nat 4s and a Molong. Some of them we're going to take a look at some where he picks like 2 Nat 5s as well. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But I mean, this is Summoner's War. Let's be real, like 2 Nat 5s in a G3 comp is actually pretty budget friendly. Next match, same person, he picks 2 Nat 5s in here. He's got the Molong and the Daphnis. He just picks the Daphnis in place of the Triana, but still it's a fairly budget comp. 2 3-stars, 1 4-star, and Molong Daphnis, which are not really considered like the most meta, super amazing top tier units. He picks the Daphnis because the opponent has a fire unit and 2 wind units, so he's like, okay, well, I need to pick a damage dealer. Let me pick a damage dealer that also strips and does damage. Of course, that's what the damage dealers do, Bagel. That's what the damage dealers usually do. Damage resists on the Molong, so that was big. The unfortunate thing here is that since the opponent banned the Fran, he has no source of sustain. So Lulu could potentially be pretty nasty. He does have 2 big damage dealers, but Molong is kind of on borrowed time because there's no way for Molong to heal. Actually, is he on Vampire? Well, it doesn't really matter. He's down to 2 units. And between the Daphnis, the Vertiheel, and the Laura, and that's going to take care of the Diana. There's nothing he can really do about it at that point. So 4 to 2, and then turn cycling, turn denial is just too strong. So next match of his, he brings in the Ciara, he brings in the Wind Ryu as well. Like I said, sometimes he picks other Nat 5s as well, but still he's picking 2 3-stars, he's picking 1 4-star in this comp. He picked the Kaki because Kaki is very strong against Ragdolls. Kaki will never trigger Ragdoll's passive because he doesn't crit. So, and another thing that I want to mention is that this is not the first time I have seen people using the Wind Ryu with the Lauren together. So the nice thing about the Wind Ryu Lauren together is Lauren will strip into a defense break, which will allow Wind Ryu to actually get his full combo off, even if he, because Wind Ryu usually, he's like, hey, I decided that I want to miss my strip, I want to miss my defense break, and then I want to stop the combo, and then, I'll maybe get another chance to use it next turn. But with the Lauren there, she strips and defense breaks so that he has an extra opportunity to just get his full combo down. So this is not the first time that I've seen people running Wind Ryu plus Lauren in the same team. So and then the triple combo. Even though he doesn't get all the crits off, he still does get enough crits to actually finish that ragdoll off. But yeah, it's just the fast Lauren, the fast Fran with the Winryu. Same thing with the Daphnis. You guys see the idea there. Next match, first picks Fran and Molong into opponent is going for a sort of fast control team. Also picks the Wusa at the end in the Water Monkey. Picks the Wind Ryu into that. So one of the things that I noticed with the way he's picking, and the same 2 3-stars and the Fran, Lauren, and Vertiheal, right? So one of the things that I noticed is like why he's picking certain things over others is he looks at, it's just this simple. He looks at his opponent's comp. He says, okay, is my opponent running wind and water stuff? I'm going to pick the Wind Ryu. Is my opponent running, well, he picks the Molong early, but if the opponent's picking like wind and fire stuff, he picks the Daphnis. He's just taking 2 damage dealing units that have element advantage, right? So that's the whole, not rocket science. This is just the whole strategy of what he's going for. He's got his core 3 units, and then he's got his just damage dealers that are just whatever has element advantage over the enemy. And the Molong doesn't need specifically element advantage. Molong is just Molong. You guys know what Molong does. He's not going to crit or not crit or anything, right? So, yeah, that's the whole strategy behind it. 9,000 Fran turns. I'm sure he's got additional damage on that Fran's artifacts. But it's basically the same thing. It's just Fran, Lauren, Verd, and then generally 2 damage dealers that's got element advantage, Molong, and then whatever else has element advantage over the enemy team. And you guys could run the same thing and just think about like, oh, well, do you not have Molong and Daphnis and Winryu? You can use whatever else is kind of a similar unit to take that spot, like Beast Riders or whatever else you have, Water Monkey even, just things that strip, things that nuke. This one match now against the G3 player, he's still picking his same things, same strategy, did not change anything, right? Well, I mean, he picked the Daphnis, but you guys get the idea, right? So it's not really necessarily about the, like, oh, I need to have this specific unit there. He's like, am I going to keep the 2 wind units in? Okay, then I'll pick the Daphnis. So, goes for the Hellfire. Does he? Well, he's got an attack power, but really doesn't kill. Okay. Oh, you know, that's a violent Daphnis, that's why. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why that Hellfire with the attack power buff did not kill the Triana. But now he's got all this. He's got the turn cycling, right? With the Verd, and then he's got the turn. Well, I was gonna say he's got the turn denial with the Lauren. He doesn't have the Lauren in here this time, but he's got the turn denial with the Fran. Still, she has her first skill. She does attack age reduction. So he's got to kind of. Never mind. I was gonna say he's got to kind of worry about making sure that Ragdoll's not in turret range. But I guess he didn't have to worry too much about that. Now it's time for some insane nonsense. So left-hand side, we have good old Birdman. Listen, I don't know what his name is. I apologize for not knowing his name. He picks some units you usually don't see being picked. He picks the 2A Firecat first. He picks Rakan. He picks Freya, which gets banned. You never see Freya. I think Freya is actually an underrated unit. Gets banned, though, because Freya, when she dies, she cleanses and full heals the entire team. Picks the Water Joker. So those are things that have passes that like something happens when they die, right? So picks the Water Joker, comes in with the ultimate Psycho Crusher. Does he get the stuns? Does he get the attack gauge pushbacks? He gets the bombs as well. He gets the collapse onto the Zyros. Curse the Beautiful. Is he able to actually kill with the Asima or not? I guess just Psycho Inferno. So then he can't quite do anything with that Asima. So Unleash Fury and then goes for the Provoke on Lucian. They just concede at that point. But this is something you don't see every day. You usually don't see Firecat, Rakan, Freya comes in against a Cleave, actually winds up on top. So how many people this season are very aggressively picking Chow, Belial, Harmonia, Jean the Light Palette is like very, very few, if any. Well, I mean, there's some people picking Chow and Belial and Harmonia every so often, but not quite the same way as this guy's picking. Also, I'm not entirely sure I understand his picks. Here's the thing. Light Paladin into immunity and a Vertiheal. Into immunity and like that makes... To me, that makes no sense. Maybe he's got this like crazy strategy that he knows that I'm like completely oblivious to, but Vertiheal is already kind of a soft counter to the Light Paladin. And then immunity on the opponent's team. He actually gets the AoE provoke, but this Vertiheal is gonna cycle his team, or cycle the opponent's team. enough that he's actually gonna cycle himself out of the provoke, basically. So let's see. He gets an additional turn, gets the Blade Slaughter, kills the Light Paladin. I don't feel like she was going to really do as much as she could have in this specific situation. Goes for the Torrent. He was in Torrent range with the Leo. All right. Does Leo go down or does Leo... Is this going to be a Chow... I feel like this might actually be a Chow solo match. I'm getting that feeling. I'm getting that feeling this is going to be a Chow solo match. Well, the Chow does not actually take down the Kaki. So, Kaki, a lot of people have... I mean, rightfully so. Decent defense on Kaki. So, because he does additional damage with his with defense with his passive, which actually had to already be nerfed. But I feel like this is gonna be a crazy Chow solo situation, isn't it? It's gonna be a crazy Chow solo situation. It's gonna be a crazy Chow. It's a crazy. I would disagree with the last pick of the Light Paladin. I don't think that was a smart pick at all into his opponent's comp. But maybe there was some crazy. Maybe he was just having fun. You know, maybe he's like, I'm gonna challenge myself. Like, I want to see Chow solo or something like that. But I wouldn't have picked that into the opponent's lineup. Another battle, another first pick fire two-way Fire Cat, followed by Belial, Fire Monkey, Harmonia, Light Howl. These are things that you don't see. Like his opponent's picking just meta stuff, right? Things that you see like all the time. But the things on his team, it's just crazy. Like, I think he's just like, I'm gonna play with different stuff. I'm tired of seeing like all these different, definitely not different. He's probably like, I'm tired of seeing my, everyone in RTA use the same 12 units. So, Destructive Punch does just enough to actually kill over there. And he just conceded. He's like, you know what, three units against the Diana. Right? I mean, sorry, 3 fire units against the Diana. There was only a matter of time before Diana went down. And the Juno there, he didn't really have... Why did they even choose Juno? I'm not entirely sure why they chose Juno. I think that was a weird pick on their side, But yeah, a wacky team still managed to pull out some wins. Let's see now how this Firecat fares against a G3 player. 1950 coming in with a fast, aggressive, control cleave kind of, more control than control. It's control cleave, but more control style. He still does have the defense breaks there. Did not ban the Leo, so that means that Poseidon's damage is nerfed, as well as the Leo-Verd combination is pretty toxic. That in itself. And then we have the counters on 2 of those units there. So the Mei is going to counter now, and then the Rakan is going to counter. He was on Vampire, wasn't he, that Rakan? So let's see if he actually counters for any of these things. Anytime he's attacked, he does not counter there. So let's see. There's a lot of turn cycling and attack gauge reduction. Okay. So you got the attack gauge reduction versus the attack gauge increase. It's really a matter of how many collapses does he get? How many Vertiheal revenges does he get? Because Vertiheal's on Will, so he's on double revenge Will. So he can't violent proc. It's RTA, so he'll find a way to violent proc. And that's on despair, okay. Because that does not stun with that skill. So he will resist. I mean, it would have been really nice if that didn't resist. Did get the collapse there, did get the Vertiheal revenge there as well. So 2 of these units do heal. Is Leo on Vampire as well or no? Yeah, he is on Vampire. He just conceded there. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like I would have still let it go. But 3 of those units are on Vampire, so there is still sustain on that team's side. He did get a little bit lucky with like some of the counters and things like that, especially the counter right away. But yeah, it did decently. I mean, passives in general are good against this team. But, Leo Verd is a toxic combination, man. Last match of the day, triple Occult Girls. I actually had more saved, but for whatever reason, they're not there. They disappeared. It's not like the, because sometimes people delete them, right? And then it's just like the replay has expired and people delete them. But, or when the replay actually expires. But this is just like, they're just not like a bug, like a text, chat bug. So anyway, triple Cult Girls, kind of fun, right? They got a lot of cleanses. They got AoE strips with this. This Laura is now super fast, much faster than before. All of these units do multi-hit, so additional damage is super huge, super strong here. all the additional damage and all of these artifacts, super OP. So I'm sure they've been farming artifacts. I mean, everyone that's been trying hard in RTA has been farming the crap out of artifacts anyway. But with this specific team, this is just so strong with artifacts. All this additional damage in all these skills, just very strong. All the continuous damage and everything, because they do all of their skill 3s do so many multi-hits, AoE multi-hits. All of that is so strong. Same thing with the fire slayer as well. Anyway, that's it for this one. Like I said, I had some other ones to show you guys as well, but they are AWOL for whatever reason. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you as always in the next one.